What's up, y'all? So the thought police are at it again, and you will be censored if you have the wrong opinion. And you think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. This article blew my mind. So, an alleged Capitol rioter will return to jail for streaming conspiracy theory content. Douglas Jensen was caught in his garage with an iPhone less than a month after a judge released him from jail on the condition he couldn't go online. So, basically this guy was streaming like election fraud conspiracy theory stuff, and he was basically just saying like Trump actually won. He's talking about a bunch of QAnon stuff, a bunch of conspiracies that I don't personally believe. But look, the guy, it's just amazing to me that this is seen as like a threat to national security now. Some dude literally in his garage just streaming on his phone going like Trump won. It's like, okay, he's probably not right, but like, Jesus Christ, does he need to go to jail? Like, that just seems so. And the fact this is BuzzFeed too, I should read part of this. Just over a month later, after he was part of the Capitol riot, he went to jail for a little bit. The government asked the judge to place him behind bars during the unannounced home check. The unannounced home check. So that's a thing. Jensen was found in his garage listening to news on a Wi-Fi connected iPhone through the video platform Rumble. The government didn't say what Jensen was listening to, but included a link to a Washington Post article that described how the site was popular among conservatives. Jensen admitted to the court that he'd also spent 2 days watching a cyber symposium hosted by MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, one of the most prominent proponents of election fraud conspiracy theories. So Jensen will now go back to jail. Where exactly remains to be seen. His lawyer wants him to stay in Iowa as opposed to going back to DC jail, but it's up to U.S. Marshal Service, not the judge. Assistant U.S. Attorney Hava said that the government extended a plea offer to Jensen. So you look, I mean, yes, this guy he violated his parole. The condition of his parole, in my opinion, was insane. I mean, it was basically don't go on the internet. You're not allowed to go on the internet. You're not allowed to say anything on the internet. And so he knew that. He actually, it says in this article, lied to his wife and told his wife that he could go on the internet and use a phone, and she believed him. That wasn't true. But this is crazy to me that this guy is going to go to jail just for getting on the internet, getting on Rumble and saying that Trump actually won the election. How many people are even watching this dude? Like a few thousand? Like, even if it's a few million, I've said this so many times on this channel, you got to allow the people on the fringes with the craziest ideas to still have a voice on your platform, because then most people are smart. You got to give people credit. Most people are going to be able to see through it. Most people are going to know this guy's kind of nuts, and it's the marketplace of ideas, right? You have some people on there who are kind of crazy, and it lets everybody else know, okay, that's a little crazy. Probably not going to go that route. Maybe there's some truth to what he's saying, and maybe it's important to explore some of the stuff he's bringing up. But that's gone out the window. So for some reason, nobody on the left understands that. That's gone completely out the window. Everybody, all the liberals I know, are cheering for this as if this guy really is a threat to national security. And now he's going to prison just for, I mean, I would love to know in the First Amendment where it says this is not allowed. And I mean, there's just been so many instances of just blatant censorship. So Twitter bans conservative author Alex Berenson. The account was permanently suspended for repeated violations of our COVID-19 misinformation rules. So the tweet that got him banned, in a now deleted tweet, Berenson compared the vaccine to a therapeutic with a limited window of efficacy and terrible side effect profiles. He also questioned vaccine mandates. It doesn't stop infection or transmission. Don't think of it as a vaccine, Berenson said in the tweet. Think of it, at best, as a therapeutic with a limited window of efficacy and terrible side effect profile that must be dosed in advance of illness. And we want to mandate it? Insanity. So, basically, look, do I agree with that? Not really. I think there might be some truth to what he's saying, what he's bringing up. Truthfully, I don't really know. But that's totally beside the point. Is he saying anything here that is directly inciting violence or hurting somebody? No, he's not. He's not doing anything that violates the First Amendment here, as far as I can tell. Where in the First Amendment does it say you're not allowed to spread misinformation? Of course you're allowed to spread misinformation. You're allowed to be an idiot online. You're allowed to say stuff that's not true on Twitter. If I want to go on Twitter and tweet just straight up the vaccine doesn't work, I think I should be able to. I mean, obviously that's misinformation, but it's like, I'm not a domestic terrorist just because I'm saying that. And like, people have been doing this on Twitter for so long. People have been tweeting just BS. And it's like, once again, marketplace of ideas, you need people on there who are tweeting stuff that's not true. Frankly, I don't think that this is that bad, what Alex tweeted here. And I mean, I think that there are some serious questions about the vaccine that are not explored by mainstream media, get totally ignored. And the fact that they want to stomp out all questioning like this makes it even more suspicious that, it's like, okay, what? So we're not allowed to question anything? Like, we just have to take it. We just have to be guinea pigs for this vaccine. I have the vaccine, just for the record. I'm fully vaccinated. I do wear my mask when I'm doing stuff, whatever. As if it's mandated, I'll wear it. But I have questions about vaccine too. I mean, I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff, like about people having bad side effects and just all this stuff that the mainstream media hasn't explored. And I think if they did, would actually make people a lot less skeptical, because it's like, people are smart. They can see through the mainstream media's coverage of this, and they're going, okay, why aren't they talking about this? Why aren't they talking about this? So that it's crazy too, that people are trusting these huge tech companies, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, to be like the arbiters of truth. You're trusting these major tech companies, these billionaires, to tell you what's true, what's misinformation, what's accurate information. And that is crazy to me, because the people who are arguing that are, most of them, the same liberals who advocate for, like taxing the billionaires and cutting all billionaires' heads off and all this stuff. But then when it comes to censorship, they're cheering. When it comes to deleting some random conservative guy off Twitter, they're like, yeah, let's go. It's like, this all came out of the Trump era, just Trump derangement syndrome, where people, it's like their brains, I'm talking about liberals basically, their brains kind of fell out of their head when Trump got elected. And look, I'm a liberal too. For a while, that was me. He kind of broke my brain a little. And I had to realize, this guy is not the end all be all of horrible things in America. Like, you got to escape that cult thinking mindset. Republicans are not your enemy. Democrats are not your enemy. The rich elites are your enemy. And so are the tech overlords who are censoring people on Twitter for just tweeting their opinion. I mean, I think it's just, the First Amendment seems to have gone out the window, and nobody cares. And this point has been made so many times, but I feel like I should make it. Today, these guys are being censored, but tomorrow it could be anybody. That's the thing about censorship. It starts with the craziest people. It starts with Alex Jones, right? Everybody's like, oh yeah, get Alex Jones off Twitter. It's like, okay, well, once you censor one person, where does it end? There's two positions you can have on censorship. As Noam Chomsky said perfectly, you're for it or you're against it. There's no, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And that doesn't exist. You're for censorship or you're against it. I've chosen to be against it in all cases. I think Alex Jones should be allowed on Twitter too, even though, if you get on there and you're tweeting like, kill all Biden supporters, okay, you shouldn't be on that. That should maybe get you banned if you're tweeting that every day. That's totally different. That's hate speech. That's not protected by the Constitution. If you're getting on there and going, hey, I don't know if this vaccine really works, you should 100% be allowed to say that. That's your opinion. And if somebody thinks that is indirectly killing people, I'm like, people can make up their own minds. It's not up to you to decide what's safe information for people and what's not. That's not how it works. And that's totally dystopian and authoritarian. And if you're rooting for that, you need to check your values, because seems like you're not actually a liberal if you're in support of that. So anyways, this is why I'm not on part of the reason I'm not on social media anymore is because things are censored, and it is like, I don't know. I kept finding myself in these horrible liberal echo chambers where people were just regurgitating the same pastel infographics about some some statistic about whatever, some social issue. And it's like, I don't know, it all comes from a good place, I guess. People want to care. And it's like, yeah, we need to advocate about this stuff, but it just becomes slacktivism and like outrage porn, calling people out just for shits and giggles. And like, man, I wish social media didn't exist, dude. Like, the world would be such a better place. It's just, it's tearing us apart. And, you know, I hope that, I hope we can establish some new social media platforms that are like totally independent. Rumble is pretty cool. Obviously YouTube, Twitter, all of Facebook, that's all compromised. You're going to be censored if you have the wrong opinion. So, you know, we need these forums for actual free speech. And I mean, it's scary. The fact that they deleted Parler, that conservative chat app. Again, I'm not a conservative. I'm a liberal guy, but Jesus Christ, why are you deleting conservatives chat forum? I'm like, yeah, maybe there's some fringe weirdness going on in there. Maybe you need to suppress some of that. Maybe like, you, when it comes to censorship, you got to err on the side of like, probably don't do it, right? Unless it's really heinous, unless it's really like what I said, like unless you're threatening to kill people, okay, then you probably shouldn't be allowed. But other than that, I mean, if you're not threatening anybody with violence, if it's just conversation, even if it's fucking crazy conversation, you're allowed to do that. So I don't know. I'm scared to see where this goes. I'm frankly more scared of this than I am of the last video I made about Afghanistan. I mean, that's a little, obviously that's just like billionaires taking all our money and laundering it and giving it to themselves. That's horrible. But this is like, we're sliding into this crazy authoritarian state where people are totally pro censorship and totally just divided into these two cults of political ideology. So anyways, definitely gonna again have to make more videos about this too, and hopefully they don't censor me at some point. Fortunately, I have, you know, 180 subscribers, so I'm definitely under the radar right now. Nobody sees any of these videos I'm making, but eventually, if I got too big, they would definitely censor me if I was saying these things. So thanks for watching, y'all. Like and subscribe, and let me know what you want me to make more videos about. Have a good rest of your day.